Welcome, April 1st, 2020. What we have for you today is an 18-minute AMRAP in which you'll be performing 60 double unders, immediately followed by 30 alternated lunges, and then into 15 inverted burpees. And you'll repeat that movement pattern for the duration of the 18 minutes, and you'll see how many rounds and reps you can get across that time domain. Now for the double unders, you'll notice that we can perform a scale of single unders. That'll just be our basic jump rope, one rotation per jump, or 60 line hops. Those will be lateral bunny hops that you'll see in the video. Ideally, the single unders, we scale those up a little bit just due to the, kind of the demands that the double under requires and getting the rope around the body twice. We try to offset that demand by increasing the number of the single unders, but it's not necessary if you don't want to. And then the line hops, we'll keep those at 60 just based on the fact that they're moving laterally rather than just vertically. The 30 alternating lunges, those can be bodyweight lunges, or we can add some weight. And with a single dumbbell or kettlebell, you can hold the weight in a goblet hold, a front rack hold, or overhead, which we illustrate in the video as well. In terms of the weight to select, choose something that you can generally get through the alternating lunges in no more than 2 to 3 sets. All right, so no more than 10 repetitions of the alternating lunges before you have to put it down for a 10-second break, pick that weight back up and get at it. All right, so if the weight is too heavy where we're doing sets of 5, then it's too heavy. All right, so you've selected the wrong weight, and either finish the workout as is and learn from the mistake, or select a lighter weight if that's available. And then the inverted burpees, we demonstrate that. We can always bring the rep scheme down on that if it's a little demanding, or we can scale that down to sit-ups as well. Both of those will put some demand on the core. So with that said, have a good one. It's a great 18-minute workout. Pump up that music, get motivated at home. Hopefully, maybe the dog or the cat's watching, to keep you honest. But otherwise, film yourself, send it over to me, and I'll shoot you some comments. Cool.
Boom. Happy April 1st. Lisa's going to demonstrate a 26.2 mile run, which will be the WOD for today. Obviously, if you're on the newsletter, that was an April Fool's joke. Silly and sad as it was. No marathon run today. But what we do have for you is an 18-minute AMRAP in which you'll be performing 60 double unders, or based on the demands of the double under, if we scale that to single unders, we're actually going to try to increase the reps if possible. So that'll be 60 double unders, or 90 single unders, or 60 line jumps. And we'll look at what those are right now. So the double under, remember, we're moving the rope around the body twice in every one jump. So it requires a lot of wrist snap. Relax. So you can hear that rope hitting the mat twice in Lisa's one jump. Alternatively, we can do single unders, which is just one rotation of the rope. Relax. And then if we don't have any jump rope space in the house, we can do line jumps or bunny hops, and we'll be doing these laterally for 60 repetitions. You can lay a line down and try to jump over it as if you're prepping for a ski trip or something like that. Like I said, if you're performing single unders, we'll try to increase those to 90 repetitions or something around the 60 to 90 range to make it a little more demanding based on the requirements that the double under has in terms of the cardiovascular demands of that. Following those the jump rope work, we're going to perform 30 alternating lunges. The lunges will look like this. That'd be 1 rep, 2 reps, 3 reps, and so on. We're going to have Lisa just stand here and facing the camera first. We've discussed this before, but in our lunge, we're looking for the feet to be set at about hip width. When the athlete steps forward, we want to maintain the feet at hip width throughout the duration of the lunge. So as she steps forward, we're looking for those feet to be about hip width. So in her case, there's about 12 inches between the foot and the knee. What we want to avoid is any type of tightrope walking where we narrow our feet and lose our balance. relax. Turn to and face me. From the side, what you'll notice when we lunge is the athlete takes a step forward. We're looking for that the shoulder blades to be pulled back and the torso to be nice and vertical, in which the shoulder and hips are stacked over one another. And if you see your back knee here as well, you can see the shoulders, hips, and knees are all stacked with that back leg. In the front leg, we have a generally vertical shin, in which the knee is stacked over the ankle. This is going to put the knee in the safest position, as well as provide really the foundation of the foot for the weight to be biased towards the front edge of the heel. So when she squeezes her glute, she can stand right out of that position and come back. All right, so the points of performance there: feet under the hips, nice vertical torso, and front shin generally vertical as well. So those 30 repetitions of alternating lunges can either be with no weight, or they can be with weight. And we're going to introduce two methods that you can do this with. The first we've looked at before. We'll have Lisa face the camera, and that's going to be the goblet hold with a kettlebell or a dumbbell. This would be the front rack hold, actually. So what we'll have Lisa do is switch that to a goblet hold, hands to the side of the dumbbell. There you go. It's a little more natural with a kettlebell. But this would be a goblet hold. You could also do the front rack. That'd be completely acceptable as well. And the athlete would then lunge, keeping those elbows down. Relax and actually show them that front rack hold as well. We can give that as an option. Lisa's giving a third choice, which is great. Front rack hold, we're looking for the dumbbell to be right around the collarbone height, and then the athlete would step forward. None of the points of performance that we talked about with the body weight lunge change. It's just now that we're holding some weight. Relax. The third option for you to hold weight is going to be a single arm overhead. Now we're going to be introducing an object over our head and trying to support it what's called the frontal plane, but really just think about that in supporting the weight overhead in the middle of the body. All right, so Lisa's going to grab this weight. Let's have you face me, so use your left hand when you put it up. And when she lunges, you'll notice that that weight stays perfectly stacked over her torso. It doesn't move forward, it doesn't move back. Relax. All right, that would be supporting that load in the frontal plane. So those are your four options for the lunge. No weight, goblet squat, front rack, or overhead. After those 30 repetitions, you'll then be performing 15 inverted burpees. This is going to be very similar to the deck squats that we've introduced previously, but now we're going to add a jump to this in the finish. You'll see here. 1 rep, 2 reps, relax. Now, ideally in this inverted burpee, in the bottom position, what we're ideally looking for is that in bottom, the athlete locks their knees generally and points their toes and their legs more or less straight up into this candlestick position. What is acceptable though as well, and it will reduce some core demand, is to allow those feet to go behind you slightly. And that'll look like this, where the legs go back behind you, and then we rapidly pull them up to stand. All right, so ideally we keep them locked out and send them straight up, but of course we can scale this to make it a little less challenging on the core. You'll perform 15 repetitions of that. So, to kind of sum this up, 18 minutes, as many rounds and reps as possible, of 60 double unders, or whatever scale you choose, 30 alternating lunges, 15 inverted burpees, and then back to the top. And of course, for any of these movements, we can always tailor the rep scheme down to make it as challenging for you and as individualized for you as necessary. And that can include even toning down the AMRAP. Maybe we only have time for 10 minutes, but you know what? A 10-minute AMRAP is better than 0. So that's all I have. I think we were okay. Introduced a new movement, a front rack hold, but I like it. All right, great work.